What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining me and my guest. I'll be bringing my guest up here shortly. I want to say thank you to all you folks that are joining us this afternoon or this evening, to whenever this video happens to find you. I know sometimes everybody's time differences kind of bounce around a lot. And any folks from KC's viewership over here that are hanging out with us, truly appreciate you guys being here. Sorry, I'm just checking a few things to make sure we are good to go on my little monitors and stuff like that. And I'm going to say hello to some of you folks. I probably miss a lot of you folks, but I don't want to take up too much time in that. And thank you, Akita. I appreciate that. I'm going to try to back it up just a hair bit, but, we want to kind of get with the guests, right? So I'll say hello to, we got American Country Boy in the house, Coffee First, Little Miss Prepper, Johnny Finance, Oki Khan. I know I can see my mods, Harvey Black, Jan Penland is in the house. Who else do we got? McBean Scottish Fitness. Good to see you, brother. We got TN Prepping Lady, JT in the house. Good to see you, JT. Snake Bite, good to see you as always. Deborah, hello. Who else we got? I'm scrolling really, really fast, folks. Dr. Eric Kessel, always good to see you. Johnny Finance. Minuteman69, flying in from his yacht on his helicopter. Is he rowing his dinghy? Oh, what's up, Scott? Good to see you as well. And I see a lot of other folks in here tonight. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, please do so. It definitely benefits the channel. All right. So let's get on with the show, folks. What's up, KC?
Hey, everyone.
I guess what I need to do, KC, and I always forget this because I'm always usually running solo, and I always forget to put these little banners up so that people can see who is actually in here. There we go. Now they know. I always forget that sometimes. All right, folks, for some of you folks who may or may not know who KC Littleowl is, she has a phenomenal channel. I have her channel linked down below. Of course, the mods will also be dropping her link so that you can check out her channel, check out her content. I suggest you do. She is very well-versed in stuff like, herbalist, and she's going to say it better than me. You guys know I'm just going to mess it all up. But, stuff like this, that some of these books are very beneficial that you can use. Yeah. Love these books. And I saw someone talking about that in chat as well. So, KC, if you could go ahead and introduce yourself so I could stop rambling and tell us a little bit about yourself. And your
yeah. Oh, my favorite part, talking about myself. Oh, I hate this part. No, people ask me all the time about starting YouTube. I never had it, it was never on my radar to start a YouTube channel. I was actually a guest because of, what I do on, with two other YouTube channels. And then, I was just doing my thing. And then I kept getting asked if I had a channel, would I start one? And, I prayed about that for about 2 weeks to see. And then, I launched that. I think New Year's Eve, this past New Year's Eve, as I did the same one, and I do, it's a lot of it's culture, how I was raised and what I know, and many generations of notebooks of, naturopathic and, being herbalist and stuff like that. And then, I've just always done that, and to help others. I think it's so important, especially where we are with everything in the world today and things are going, that we do know how to do things naturally for ourselves, because we see if things aren't readily available. I mean, you're going to need to know naturally how to do things. And
I agree 100% with you. It's a thing that some people don't. They should pay more attention to and learn about more effectively, because it's where my view on it is for some reason things really go sideways and we don't have access to traditional medicine. What are you to do? Right.
That's true. And I tell people to do it now, so you can, maybe you have to wean off of something or get used to it, or, this takes, lifetimes of learning this. I didn't just pop up one day and learn this and, learn it now until don't wait till you're in a crunch of a situation and you have something you need to treat. And I just try to get that information out to help everyone, especially with what's going on.
And I think a lot of folks should truly appreciate that. I know I do. And folks, real quick, before I forget, we're going to chat a little bit, and then I will throw, before we get into the whole questions and stuff for her, because I know probably a lot of you guys have some interesting questions out there. And we'll get to that somewhere in the chat. So we'll leave time allotted for you guys to ask some questions. And again, thank you for everybody joining us this evening, as well as you mods handling it. And folks, please keep it family friendly. That's what we like to do on the channel as best as we possibly can. You know how I came across, you're probably not going to believe how I came across your channel. I was looking up something on YouTube, believe it or not.
Oh,
and that's
cool.
the first time I ever saw your channel.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, it was Colloidal Silver. You
Colloidal
happen to
silver.
pop that
Yeah.
in?
Okay. Yeah. And
You happen
I just did an update about that the other day because I'm not affiliated with any companies, but if I trust it and I like it, if I use it myself or my family, I will recommend it. I'll tell people if I can't vouch for it, I won't. I don't know. But the colloidal silver, the silver edge generator, has gone up a lot, and it's just going to continue to go up. So I encourage that because it'll pay for itself versus buying pre-made little bottles of colloidal silver.
That's cool. I think I was looking at it. Some folks were asking me about it, so I decided to do some research. And of course, I go to YouTube, and you're one of the channels that popped up, and I went and looked at the little setup that you had in there, and I thought it was pretty interesting.
Well, thank you.
Followed your information, and it was very beneficial, at least for myself. Pony Girl, there's a lot of great books. You guys know I'm a book nerd. But yeah, these books, yeah, she was like, which books were they? Here, you can always freeze frame the screen. Once that comes in there, that's one of them.
Yeah.
And the other one here, I'm trying to knock all my stuff down here. This is another great one as well.
Great books. Yeah.
Yeah. Solid. And then of course there's lots of other books about medicinal plants and stuff like that. I'm just a huge proponent in that. And that's what draws me to your channel is all the information that you offer. I mean, it's just a wealth of information on there. I wish, do you ever do the Discord thing or that kind of stuff?
I haven't. No.
If you ever get a chance and you happen to go do the Discord route, I have someone that's been helping me tremendously. Her name is Voodoo Queen.
Okay.
And she runs the section on my Discord with the herbal, I think, what do they call it? Herbal recipes, but it's a lot of discussion about that kind of stuff like that and how to make tinctures and those type of recipes. Cause I had no idea how to make tinctures, and everybody's like, well, it's a lot easier than you'd assume.
It is. And most of them they're pretty much the same kind of recipe you follow. You just, just whatever you're using. Some of them are a little bit different. You just change that up. Anytime you're doing any kind of, extract, tinctures or anything like that, they're basically or salves. It's basically the same formula that you use.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just always tell people to make sure anytime you use anything with an oil base, which I do a lot of mine with oil base, like olive oil, they are not going to have the shelf life if you do an alcohol based tincture will.
That's good to know, because it's still Greek to me in the aspect because I'm learning. I'm a newbie.
Yeah.
When it comes
to that. Do it. That's why I tell people you got to get hands on. You got to do it. Don't be scared of it. Be safe. I always tell people be safe, do things safe, but just start with simple things and build your confidence and you'll see it's not so scary.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. I know folks are always going to ask this question. If you had to choose, let's say, and I'm gonna put you on a spot a little bit.
No,
if you had to choose 5 plants, if you could only grow 5 plants, what would they be? Like, I'm trying to think of what could you grow that would be most beneficial to you if you only had space for 5 plants, let's say.
Well, I have my handy dandy list. I'm a list person. It had way more than 5, Grey.
I mean, you can go more.
Oregano is always going to be in my herbal stuff. Because oil of oregano is your power punch about knock anything out. Oregano is always going to be up there. I always say things, and these aren't just going to be herbs like, oregano, garlic, of course, is going to be up there. You're going to want those because that's going to knock, they're antimicrobial, they'll get all different pathogens, viral, fungal, bacterial. You're going to want those for different things, but there's a lot of, so what's that, 2? I would do lemon balm. Can we do mints as a whole? Because lemon balm's part of the mint family. So lemon balm, peppermint, all those, we'll count that as 1, right?
We can wrap it up into 1 for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and then there's, I like plantain, but a lot of these are foraging type. I mean, these are backyard weeds that, like plantain and yarrow and dandelion are fantastic properties that but some people plant them, but if you forage them, you just don't, if you have them in your yards and stuff like that, or the woods around you or whatever, you just don't mow over them, and you collect them and you dry them and things like that. Thyme, holy basil, those are great to have. I mean, calendula is really, really a good one. It's usually well tolerated, which is, again, it has fantastic anti-inflammatory properties, antimicrobial, anything like that you think can be these. So many of these can be internal and external. I
Mhm.
love stingy nettles, but again, that's kind of a foraging thing. So many people have it in their yard, they don't know what it is, but stinging nettles is your go-to if you have any kind of allergies. So, suffer for any kind of seasonal allergies, hay fever, anything like that. Stinging nettles is going to be your best friend for that.
That's pretty. It's when I got sick not too long ago. I used some basic remedies. Local honey, a
Right.
little bit of lemon, ginger tea. I love the elderberry. Elderberry is one of my favorite
Yeah.
plants. And I'm growing one now, thanks to one of my viewers who sent me a cutting, and it's
Oh, that's wonderful.
doing super good.
Right.
In the Florida heat and everything, I'm surprised it's doing what it's doing. But very happy that I have it, and
Right.
it's just one of those plants that I've looked at. But it's like you said, stuff like the basil and stuff like that. Basil for me, it just grows so profusely and so easily in my garden.
Right.
I'll plant it one place and then it'll just start popping up everywhere else.
My oregano's like that. It'll take over everything. I have to keep it in containers.
uh,
Oregano would just go all over for me. So were a lot of my mints. I got several different types of mints just because I like the different ones.
do you what kind of oregano do you grow? Out of curiosity.
I have a lot of different ones. But right now, all I have is like basic oregano,
Hmm.
because I find that it works better for doing your oil of oregano. It's doing your tincture for that. And that's why I like to have. Now I buy like the, oil of oregano that's, in a little dropper. It's very, very strong,
Hmm.
very expensive, and it's getting harder to find. I find that works best to do my tinctures with. Is
Okay.
your basic oregano, not the more fancier ones. It just seems to work better.
Awesome. And the reason I ask is I grow Cuban oregano, uh,
Right.
which is a very, very potent plant.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned so much about it in regards to opening up your bronchial airways, people who have asthma
Yep.
and stuff like that. And I just was like, that's like one of those plants that could save someone's life at one point or another if they're in a
Yeah,
situation.
oregano really can. I mean, even things so simple that people today take for granted. Like, say somebody got strep throat.
Mhm.
One treated strep throat, you're going to get scarlet fever. Then you're going to need heart valve transplants. I mean, you're going to have, it can escalate into something. But like colloidal silver, oregano, things like that, that's going to get stuff like that. Those bacterial things that such a simple plant has so many healing properties.
Right on. There's a lot of folks out there. I guess it's still happening. I don't want to, I always call it the Charlie Victor, which most people know what I'm talking about at that point. If someone was to, pop, let's say, positive for something like that,
Right.
would there be a specific type of like remedy or like routine? What's it say?
Like a protocol.
Yeah, that you would use for that.
Yeah. Everyone with that viral, they react a little different. The biggest ones when people have a hard time with it, of course, there's the the fatigue or the long haulers, but the majority of people who really struggle with it, it becomes a respiratory thing. And Mullein is going to be your go-to for that. Mullein is going to knock that through. And then you're going to want to do any immune boosting, anything. Our bodies know what to do. We just have to
Right.
support our immune system so it doesn't get beat down. So, I mean, all your stuff that's like I call them the hot shots. It's the apple cider vinegar, local honey, cinnamon, cayenne pepper, and lemon. And you put that, in boiling water, like a coffee cup size. You drink that. I would drink that several times a day if you have that. Any kind of illness, knock that out. But with the respiratory stuff, Mullein is going to be your go-to.
Awesome.
That is your respiratory tonic for anything like that.
Good to know. Yeah, Mullein. I've seen Mullein even sold here locally at like places like Lowe's and Home Depot.
Yeah, it grows wild a lot of different places as long as you can identify things, 100% identify things safely. Yeah, and it dries very well, and it'll keep if you dehydrate something really well, it'll keep for a long time.
McBean is doing well. I'll do an update here soon enough. I was pondering that the other day when I need to do the next garden update. Do you do gardening as well? I'm assuming that you do, growing all these plants.
I do. There's been hit and miss issues. I don't know if anyone else. I've had several people get up with me and say, they're having issues with their garden more this year and seeds this year. And I have had that. I have not had that with things are not germinating or they're not coming up the same. So I don't know what's going on with that. And a lot of people have been getting up with me. They have been getting bad soil, like bags of soil, even organic soil. They're having issues with a tremendous amount of fungus and mold in them.
Interesting. Let me see. We've had some pretty decent luck in regards to that aspect of things. I'm one of those crazy people that someone tells me I can't do it. I try it just to see if I can do it. And sometimes I get positive results. I love experimenting with plants because Mother Nature has her way of, bulldozing through issues and figuring a way around certain things. So I love to experiment with her and see what she does. It's always a surprise sometimes. And then, of course, my main issue this year so far has been aphids and leaf cutters and a couple of the squash bug varieties and stuff like that. And
the last 2 years, I've had a horrible time with ants.
Ants.
Horrible. Yeah. And I mean, usually, you can knock those out, put some DE out, put some, real, I do everything natural. I do not use pesticides or herbal, anything like that on my plants at all in my yard or anything. But the fire ants and the ants have been really bad the last 2 years that a lot of people around here are having an issue with that. And of course they bring the aphids, they carry the aphids and put them where they want them. And that, that's just a double issue.
Yeah. Cause I think the aphids excrete that sweet stuff and then they start,
and then they move them around where they want them. Yeah. So you got a double whammy for that.
It's crazy. And so I decided to do an experiment this year myself. And I bought some ladybugs just for fun. Yeah. And released them. And I had a lot of folks say, it's not going to work. They're going to disappear.
Oh, it does. I've had good experience with it. Did you?
And, yeah, no, I did a video because I showed a war. I mean, these beans, my purple hall peas were just covered in aphids. They just looked like an aphid bean. And the ladybugs were starting to do their thing. Their little, what do they call it? And when they're in their larva stage, I've seen their little cocoons and stuff. And all of a sudden, every day, just more and more and more ladybugs, and it's now the ladybugs have won. I have almost no aphids. I think I just looked at it today and there's just not many at all, if any. They've decimated the aphid population on those beans. I cut back what I needed to cut back, and beans, these purple hall peas are very prolific in the aspect of once you cut them back, they start to regrow. You know what I mean? So, so far so good. When it comes to that.
Good.
It's just dealing with bugs. A lot of people have told me stuff like your neem oils, your, what is it? Dr. something soap, God, what is his name?
I know the one that I know what soap you're talking about, but I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. Someone will get it.
Somebody will put it in there.
Yeah. Someone will put it in there. What's up, JT? Good to see you. Michael, I'm going to pause it there and I'll come back to that question real quick, brother. But I've learned of a few things, and I don't know if you've ever heard this one. I thought about even making a video of it because I'm so intrigued by it. Someone said, hey, go get some peppermint mouthwash. And you dilute it in water and spray that, towards the evening time, of course, so you don't burn your plants. And it's a great bug repellent. And so I've been experimenting with that.
Flies and different things. It works great. The mint, if it's mint mouthwash, I just put it in a spray bottle, and it'll work for flies and different things. You can spray that around. That helps.
That's great. I'm glad you said that because I'm like, okay, because I think I might have saw this. I don't know. Honestly, if it was a TikTok thing or an Instagram thing, it was somewhere. Right. And I was like, I said, well, I'm willing to try anything at certain points, because
I sprinkle grits all the time. Raw, real, not instant grits, because the ants that's my thing for ants also. Diatomaceous earth and grits, because the grits, it can't be the instant grits. The grits, they'll expand and blow up and kind of inside of them. So it kills them. They take them back to the nest. And you do like the old school things. You do like borax and sugar. You put that in certain areas. Do things like that.
You just made me think of an old thing when I was a teenager. God, and this is so bad. But someone told me to, what was it? Back and down, and when I was in the Keys, they were like, yeah, you give the, what was it? The seagulls, you feed the seagulls things and they'll blow up in the sky. I forgot what it was. It was horrible.
It's Alka-Seltzer.
There you go. It's so wild. Oh man.
Don't do that. Don't feed them Alka-Seltzer. It will mess them up.
I can't remember. I was probably about you're a very young boy when someone told me to do that kind
Yeah.
of stuff like that. But they want to see
It's
how
like,
it works
when you're
out.
little, they put, people would put salt on slugs. I remember kids doing that in the
Yeah.
neighborhood, doing
Now,
things like that.
I had a friend of mine who was dealing with slugs, and I gave him some ideas of what to use for slugs. Because he's having a slug on his fruit plants out of all the
Did you
things.
use pennies?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Pennies? Oh, yeah, that's what I do is penny balls or lay pennies out.
I was shocked at how well it worked for him.
Yeah.
But so the question that Michael had, and I feel like
Okay.
you've touched on this subject or someone did. He says, "Do you know of anything that helps with congestive heart failure?"
Congestive heart failure, usually with congestion, it really things like that go to it's your kidneys. You're
Hmm.
not filtrating off, so you have to have some type of diuretic. Of course, when I say things on here, be safe, talk to your doctor, don't be safe. Use common sense,
Hmm.
people. But a good diuretic thing. There's natural diuretics. Heart tonic. My number one heart tonic for many different ailments is hawthorn. It's always going to be hawthorn, and then you add diuretics. I always usually go to dandelion for that. But everybody's a little bit different. Like I'll have people ask me things, and I say, "Well, I've got to, email me because there's certain. Everyone's a little bit. It's not nobody's a cookie cutter.
Right.
Everyone's a little bit different, and you kind of have to tweak things to fit every individual because what they may have like the same diagnosis, but what works for this one isn't going to work for the other. But for congestive heart failure, I always recommend hawthorn for any kind of cardio, any kind of cardiac tonic type stuff, and then you need to have a good diuretic. So it'll help flush off because your kidneys aren't flushing it off, and so then the fluid backs up to you're not getting it off. It's having to beat too hard.
You're making me. We keep on mentioning dandelions, and that's one thing. The dandelion plant, or weed, as some people call it, is just
Yeah.
every part of that plant is usable, and it's such an
Yeah.
amazing thing that, and so many people walk past it like it doesn't exist, or spray it to kill it, or mow it down, or do whatever they
Yeah.
want to do it. It's crazy how beneficial a dandelion
It
plant
is
can be.
so beneficial. I mean, I tell everyone, if you don't have it, fine. Of course, don't ever get somewhere that's sprayed or close to a road, because most plants do absorb and it'll be in the, the makeup of things, of pollutants and stuff like that. But every bit of that, I make salve out of the yellow flower tops, the leaves, put them in your salad. You can dry them. You can use them, the roots, all of it is fantastic. I encourage everyone, and that's a really good one to start with because it's safe. If you don't have never done any kind of foraging or done any type of herbal anything, I tell people all the time, start with dandelions.
Good suggestion. Yeah, because you can find them pretty much anywhere in the U.S. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, dandelions, clovers, anything like that, they're super safe. Everyone pretty much can identify those safely, and it's a great way to start. You got to start somewhere, and once you do a couple, and you're like, oh, this isn't so bad or scary or hard, you just keep building from that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a friend of mine taught me, what is it? God, what plant is that? Or it's a tree. Oh man, what tree is it? It's not willow bark, which I know you can use for aspirin. I think it's birch, and if you take off the first layer of birch and then you scrape the inner layer of the bark, which is the softer layer, you can chew on that or something like that for upset stomach or something like that. If I'm correct. Little things like that I've been picking up. And before I ask my question, I saw Passamaquoddy before I forget. She had asked, let me see here, where was it at? I'm trying to back up here. She said, did she go over goldenrod? I don't know if you want to talk about goldenrod real quick or not.
Yeah, I just recently did a video on goldenrod. That I was hesitant to do goldenrod because it does have 3 very deadly lookalikes. And you have to be careful. You can, a lot of people, you can even eat the flowery parts of goldenrod. But again, that is one I always tell people 100%, and you need to know 100% the 3 lookalikes and identify them properly. But yeah, I just did a video maybe last week or something. I did on goldenrod. I brought mine inside and did a little video on that.
That's awesome. My wife, when we were looking at your channel, because she wanted me to ask you, she's had trouble. She's tried to start the seeds. She doesn't know what to do, but she's desperately trying to grow the passion flower. and
Yeah.
she just can't get the seeds to germinate. She's been buying the ones from the store. You know, you go to Lowe's or something like that, and she's like, "Can you ask her if she has any suggestions or what I'm doing wrong? I know there's two different types of passion
They can be
flowers."
finicky to start and then they go crazy. So when I don't do my seeds here, and I know in Florida, it does grow wild. So if you ever find it in the wild, if you ever find it foraging and you find it, the roots, they have hair lights, but the roots they go sideways, almost like how bamboo, it'll go out
Okay.
sideways and they have finger things on it. If you can get as much as that root up, you know how when you transplant or something you do like that, those take off better than any seed I have done from passion flower.
Hmm. I
And
wonder
if
if you can you order those online, like maybe a
you
start
can
or
do
something like that?
starters, like they'll come in. I just ordered some yarrow like that because their seasonal starters, they'll get leggy. Is she like when she does her seeds, are they leggy and then they don't take off from there?
Pretty much.
Okay, that is common with that. Why? I don't know, because they, and all that sugar sand and everything down in Florida, they grow very well in the wild. Like it's almost like you can't kill them once you get them either. But the seeds are harder to get going for some reason. They do not like damp soil. They don't like tight, compact soil.
Mhm.
Like gardening, if you buy bags of soil, I
Right.
always mix sand in with mine. They just like to be, a lot drier, but they'll get that leggy thing. Did you start them? Did you do them outside or do you have like a grow lamp or grow light?
They were in the shade house. We start most of the stuff that we start in the shade house currently.
Yeah, if they get leggy, like back here behind me is my grow tent. And
Okay.
I have, I have the lights, the different color lights. When you have that you have to put that light right down close to it so it doesn't stretch to get to the light and it'll beef
Mhm.
it out some. They are harder to grow from seeds. I have had the best luck is digging up the root, and you get as much as you can, and put that in a big. The roots like to go further out, not down. So when you keep that in mind, whatever contain, if you do them in a container, what you put them in, that would be my best suggestion. But yeah, she's not alone with the seeds; they can be kind of difficult.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Rainy Steps, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. And Quest, yeah, if you can, that'd be awesome. My P.O box is down below, and if you email me and let me know like when it's on its way, I can go and check my P.O box. Because unfortunately my P.O box has been quite empty lately. No postcards, none of that stuff like that. So
Y'all send him some fan mail, okay?
I know, right? I can't wait to get my new house because I have this board that I'm going to build out with all these postcards that I got last year, and
Oh, that's
it's going to
nice.
be so cool. I want to show them off. Right now I just
Right.
get to look at them. So I want to have a couple spots where I can do live streams and show
That'd
off
be neat.
viewer postcards and whatnot. But that'd be awesome, Quest. I would appreciate that. What's up, Color Drop? Good to see you, Sherry Leach. And did I say what's up to you, JT? I saw you pop in there as well. But one other question I have is because I can't get this here. No matter, my friend Mark over in Wisconsin, he's Mark's channel name is a pain in the butt. I wish he would shorten it. Thanks, Rainey. I will get to that question in 1 second, Rainey. And thank you again for the super chat. He lives it's Rolling Homestead, Wisconsin, Wild Edibles, and so it's a really long
A
thing. But Mark,
mouthful, right?
yeah, Mark is a really good guy, and he's sent me stuff like dandelion jelly and stuff like that, which is phenomenal.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, him and his wife do all kinds of cool stuff, and it taught me a lot when I started getting into the gardening and stuff like that. But he's just been busy with life, so he hasn't done much on the YouTubes. And the last question, the reason I was asking about that is because he has access to chaga, and he tells me chaga is such a beneficial thing. And I've never been able to find it because it won't grow down
Yeah.
here.
No. Yeah. I haven't done it. I haven't done it myself.
It's I think his mother, if I recall correctly, using it for like cancer treatments and stuff like that. It was just
Yep.
like, wow. And he said just all the things he told me how beneficial it is. I was just like, wow, I need to get my hands on some of that. Now I've seen commercially produced stuff. I just don't trust it,
Yeah, I don't. And I am funny about things like that. I don't, give a high regard. And I know what you're saying because
Mhm.
I don't know even because a lot of things people run into, I try to tell people and not in a discouraging way. Is
Mhm.
something could say, this has been grown organic. It didn't have any pesticides, herbicide, anything on it. But when for them to be able to sell it and the cleaning process they have to go to, they will put chemicals on it to cleanse things before drying, packaging, tincture, whatever. So you just have to be very careful. Really do your research with, you may say like certified organic. Okay, it was grown sort of certified organic, but the processing of whatever they make it out of, if they're doing a tincture or they're drying it, you have to be careful. You know, I'm not affiliated with anybody. I have used for a very long time and never had issues is Mountain Rose Herbs, because I can buy things in bulk from them. I have never had issues from them, and I do trust the company. Sometimes I send people to that. They're like, and a lot of people don't have access to things, or they're unable, or maybe where their climate is. And I understand that. I trust Mountain Rose Herbs. I'll get a lot of different things from them. And then some different places you can buy certain, seeds. Just depending on what you're trying to start or do.
Right. No, that makes sense. I'm just going to take a moment just to kind of note that down. And I will throw Rainey's question out there. She says, what's good for high blood pressure that you would suggest possibly?
Okay. Yeah. Again, hawthorn, you're always going to think about. And if there's always, so, there's primary and secondary high blood pressure, depending on what it is. And like I said, nobody's a cookie cutter, so everybody has a little bit different. But, if you have high blood pressure, you're going to do, things like hawthorn. And I actually just recently did a video on high blood pressure. I don't know, a week or two ago. And then things like flaxseed, you can add flaxseed, like a tablespoon of flaxseed every day will bring that, down. I tend to tell people to stay away from flaxseed oil. It goes rancid super easy. It's just fragile that way. And if you do the seeds, they last a lot longer. Just take like a teaspoon to a tablespoon of that, mix it in yogurt, or if you have oatmeal or anything like that, every day. And of course, the unmentionables that, always has to do with, like, you have to evaluate your, if it's diet, exercise related, staying active, different things like that. But I did a video where I broke a lot of it down for everyone, the top, my go-tos for anyone with high blood pressure. But hawthorn is just a heart tonic for about anything. I mean, even people who, are in heart failure or, have arrhythmias, tachycardia, high blood pressure, hawthorn is really good for that. And I always recommend flaxseed.
I have another question from Gail Gorton, and I've actually done some videos on this myself, but I'll let you answer because you're my guest. She said, what about substitutes for insulin?
Insulin, this is where I got in trouble on my channel. Yeah, I got a strike and I took the video down, and it made me so mad. But I did my now I do have things as far as substitute for people who, a while back I did a video, is like a substitute for if somebody was on metformin. Like I did 4 prescription medications, but I did a video for type 2 diabetes. It does not apply for type 1 that they took down, which I'm hesitant. I don't know if it'll get you hits if I say, but I do have a video I just did. Is right before my high blood pressure one, which is on type 2 diabetes. Why that one got me in trouble, I don't know, but it did.
It could just be specific wording.
Yeah, and I really tiptoe around it because I want the information to stay up, And
it's a shame when you try to all you're doing is trying to educate and inform folks and give them different alternatives that they'll hit you for stuff like that. I know for myself, people hate it when I say I used to be a type 2 diabetic, because the reason I keep on saying that is for years I was a 400.
You can reverse type 2 diabetes. Anyone, you have to do the work. A lot of people do really well on keto for type 2 diabetes. Again, everyone's different. What feeds, don't feed the issue. Same thing with candida, cancer, anything else. Usually all of it feeds on sugar, carbs, stuff like that. You have to evaluate those things. And I always recommend everyone every day, no matter what you got going on, is apple cider vinegar every day. Raw apple cider vinegar with the mother. Please dilute it. People just want to, it'll burn your stomach up. Please dilute it in a cup, 8 to 10 ounces of water. Drink it every day, 2 or 3 times a day. It'll prevent so much. It'll treat a list of ailments. It should be a staple in everyone's house to have for stuff like that.
I know when a lot of people talk about diabetes and stuff like that, they mention cinnamon a lot as well.
Cinnamon, yeah, cinnamon is great for it'll bring your sugar down. Anything I ever recommend is I tell people, please, if you start doing these things, you're going to notice that your sugar is going to drop. So you have to monitor, especially if you're on something like if you're on
Yeah.
insulin or you're on metformin or something like that. You have to monitor that even closer because your body, it's going to start regulating it different.
And I'll be completely honest on here, folks. And a lot of you folks have been following me for quite some time. Know this. At one point in my life, I was on 15 medications from cholesterol to blood pressure to all this stuff like that. And I'm on none of that now due to, I do some exercising. I do a lot of hiking and walking and cardio stuff. I do a lot of clean eating, but I also use a lot of medicinal plants and stuff like that to get me off all that stuff like that. And here I am, it's been 3 years since I've had to take any type of medications. Yeah. I just don't trust big pharma and all the stuff they add to it,
Yeah, I know. They'll get me started.
I know, right? Let me see here. Oslander Info says, do you have the videos up on Odyssey or Rumble?
Me, I don't. And people ask me, I have not. And I even put something in my community asking which one people used more. Just as a backup, I mean, I really don't have time to monitor a bunch of different platforms. But then when I got hit, which was that diabetic one I did, which I tacked it on behind another one and they've left it. So, but it's up there. It's right before the high blood pressure one. I haven't. I was going to do one and I'll ask you, y'all, what do y'all think? I just want something to back my things up on, but I probably won't be as active on there, but just in case something like that happens, it's backed up.
So what I do, and this might be beneficial to you as well. I'm going to do something here. I'm trying to see how we can keep on talking while I'm typing this in so that I can show you. And I can show you how to do this. I'm always trying to, if you ever need help doing any of this stuff like that.
I'll get up with you on email. You probably have to walk me through some of it because I.
So what I like about BitChute itself, I'm trying to see if I can find my channel real quick.
Is that where it automatically will back it up for you once you load it? I've had some people tell me that.
It's so awesome. Basically everything you do, it's just like a fallback. It's like almost having a second channel. And you can see that people watch, everything that I do just pops up on here, and you can see it's not as many views as I get on YouTube.
Right. But you can see the traffic is on YouTube. I tell people that the traffic's over here.
So it is definitely one great thing is it backs up on my content as a backup channel. It just takes it right over. As soon as this video done, it'll push that over there. I really like it. And I didn't even realize I had 179 subs on BitChute because I didn't know who watches it. But some people just won't watch this platform. And specifically, they just like to be on Rumble or BitChute or Odyssey or whatever like that. Right. So it's just another nice outlet for folks. And let me go ahead and remove that. But yeah, and like I said, I always tell folks, and you could do the same thing. It's, down there in your description, always have it pop up. There's like, hey, if you guys want to follow a backup version of me, you can go to BitChute or something like that. It might be beneficial for you. Yeah,
I still don't know all the bells and whistles of YouTube. I mean, I do my videos, I upload them, and I interact with people. But some of the stuff, I'm still learning. I mean, like I started it like New Year's Eve, and I sometimes I feel that rush because, well, I mean, like we get strikes or we have to tiptoe around in code words or who knows. I feel like I try to get information out as quickly as I can, so I want to help people. Why we're still able to do these things.
Exactly. Let me see here. So folks, I'm looking at the time. I was just bouncing around looking at a few things, and thank you, Oslander, for that. I saw what you had mentioned as well, and you saw Florida as well. I do have those platforms. I don't have Odyssey, but I have Rumble currently. I'm just never there, so people don't really follow it too often. I have everything and locked in with my name and my logo and all that stuff like that. But I did see a question by Deborah Calvert. She says, what about for your eyes?
Your eyes? Well, everything again, it has to be something particular. I mean, you always think vitamin K for your eyes or different, or vitamin A, vitamin K for your eyes. Is there something particular?
Right. Yeah. I just saw that.
And y'all are always welcome to email me. I have people, I don't even know how many a day, and I do answer all. I will answer you. And if I don't know, I will do my best to direct you to someone that could help you. I will always try, but sometimes you can give me more detailed about maybe what's going on, and I can make a list out for you or a protocol out for you, and I can do it safer through email. So if I put things in comments on my channel, sometimes they jump all over that. But yeah,
Do they
and
really?
my email's right in my about tab.
I'm trying to do something as we're talking here because you're making me think about something. And sorry, it just pops in my head, and I'm gonna have to minimize us, but it won't. No one will notice what I'm doing here.
And that's right, Christy. Eat your carrots; they're great for your eyes.
Yeah, and
I have a chart. I should bring it up. There is a chart. It's about talking about nature, how it knew. Like, if you look at a walnut, it looks like a brain and their brain health. If you look at carrots in the inner ring, it looks like an eye. It means it's for your eyes. I mean, like how they match. It's just nature matched that up. What looks like those different things, but that is true. Carrots are wonderful for your eyes.
I was going to say, where do I have it here? I know I have, where is it at? Here it is, the herbal recipes. And this is, I threw that in there today because a lot of people like the herbal stuff. And there's just so much information in here when I back up, as you can see, where people are.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. All kinds of stuff in there. I'm trying to back up a little further because Voodoo's been out. She hurt her back. She had a bad accident. And I think you guys would make a heck of a powerhouse together. But that's her there. And she has all just kinds of information like yourself. And
I'll look her up. And she's on YouTube.
Voodoo is not. She's strictly, she was a viewer, but she's full of information. She should do a YouTube. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to.
That's how I got pulled into it.
Right?
Yeah.
But Voodoo's, I think, been a viewer for I don't know how long. As far as I can remember, a lot of great information with her. And that's why I think you guys would probably talk for hours and hours and hours, you know, with all the type of information that you guys probably share. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you. Is Rudy in the house? Good old Rudy. Love him. So
he's great. Rudy's
great. Yeah, and that's what, you know, I'm not going to do my whole Rudy spiel right now. Shut up, Grey. But he has a phenomenal channel because we're focusing on you tonight. But what I wanted to tell everybody in chat is if you have questions, because we're about 42 minutes in, if you can put like a Q in front of it and then put all caps so that I can see them, I can catch them a little easier. If you have questions for KC while we're sitting here.
Yeah, and y'all you can always email me because, you know, like I said, I'll be glad to help, and I can kind of do a more personal approach. I get a lot of that after I make a video. It's kind of a basic overview, and then I can personalize it, but I can't personalize it. They're not going to like that. I can't do it on the channel. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Deacon. You know, it's what was the word I'm looking for? Something popped in my head. It's something that I can get down here. I don't know if you have access to it. I know some people can grow it in your area, but aloe is huge down here in Florida. I mean, it's like it grows well. And I feel like everyone should have at least a small aloe plant in their kitchen.
You should. I will say about aloe, because I cannot use aloe. If you are allergic to latex, you cannot use aloe, Vera. It has the same things in it. So yeah, if you know, like when I was in nursing, I used to be a trauma nurse. I couldn't have latex gloves or anything. And I'm more sensitive to aloe and also avocado. If you have a latex allergy, those two you have to watch.
Rudy has a question for you.
Yes, I did. I actually emailed you. I was rushing to email you. I was like, I got 4 minutes before the live starts. And I emailed you. I did. I received it. Actually, matter of fact, it's sitting right here.
Nice. You're one of the lucky few.
I was so shocked when I won. I really appreciate it. I was tickled. I was so excited when it came in today. But yes, thank you. Thank you so much. You and McBean. Thank you.
All right. Scott has a question for you. He says,
okay.
Does Eastern white pine have any uses besides vitamin deficiencies?
Like just pine, like using pine. You can do like pine needle tea. Is that what you're referring to? It's great for cough and immune stuff. If you're sick, throat, anything. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Yeah. Pine needle.
Yeah. I think that's what he's referring to.
Is really good for, you know, cold respiratory. Especially if you're feeling anything on your throat, anything like that, it's a really good it's a warming thing, especially in the winter, like how you when the weather changes and stuff, depending on, of course, where you're at, it's really good to have pine needle tea.
I see a couple things popped up. Lori D, yes, I'm telling you, there's some great information in the Discord. I know it's another thing that you have to download or use your computer for, but it sucks. And but it's a great place. It's a great place because you can talk a lot more freely there and share information, specifically like recipes and tinctures and all that fun stuff like that. What's up, JM? Good to see you. I don't know what you're referring to, but she said Moringa too.
Moringa too. I don't know.
Or just moringa in general. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. I'm bad at
Oh, you talking about I did that tree, that plant that is, I know what you're talking about. They would not even upload my video for that.
Really?
Yes.
That's
I
nuts.
don't know what I'm such a tiny channel. I am on I'm on some target. But yes, there are. Well, I will say, because I don't want to get Grace's channel in trouble. So I'm trying to be careful also what I'm saying on here. That is used for people who have had the thing, and they're trying to help detox and protect their body from damages from that.
Gotcha. I see Dr. Eric Kessel says, I'm an ER nurse as well at KC. Awesome.
Yeah, I haven't been in for a very long time, but I did trauma and orthopedics.
That's pretty cool. But it's some of that stuff will always stay with you, that education and that knowledge.
Oh yeah, that trauma. Yeah, I'm calm in the storm, and I'm anxious when it's quiet. I think that happens that's just the way I work, which can be a good thing, but I think that comes from being a trauma nurse.
I'm trying to get to these questions here. Akita Love has best natural treatment for osteoporosis, recently DX.
Okay, so yeah, diagnosed. Yeah, I talk about the herbs. People push for that and think it's drink milk. It's take calcium supplements, which is bad. But if you're ever trying to prevent or treat osteoporosis, you have to take vitamin K2 with it, because calcium doesn't know where to go, and it builds up in our soft tissue. It builds up in your heart, and it causes problems. You have to take. I have a list of a lot of herbs I can give you that are phenomenal for osteoporosis preventing or treating, but you have to take K2 with that, because the K2 drives the calcium into your bones. So that's the biggest thing when you have osteoporosis, is you have to take K2 or it won't go. It'll sit in your soft tissue. A lot of people will get calcium rings in their heart. They just, the doctors or different things will just give them calcium. Just take calcium, supplements. And calcium supplements they're really not good for you, because they just collect in your soft tissue and stuff.
It kind of makes sense, because in order for great vitamin D absorption, you have to kind of take it with the vitamin K2 as well, right?
Yeah, you should take, and different things. I always recommend, and like with vitamin D, you can't take with an iron supplement, or you can't drink it with, if you drink milk or something at the same time, it is going to block that. That's why I always recommend, well, of course, my main thing is vitamin D. Go outside, get sun in your skin 50 minutes. That isn't doable for everyone, different types of season or whatever, but sublingual IU vitamin D3 drops are the way to go always for vitamin D.
Good suggestion.
Of course, with the sunshine. But most everyone is deficient in vitamin D. Almost everybody.
And it's funny you say that, because I get a checkup every 6 months, and I've gotten better. I've got to the point where I'm good now, but 90% of the time, everything was good on the board, except I was right under the hair of the vitamin D mark. So you're absolutely correct.
People think that it's just a small amount. They just take a pill, but you can take 5, 10, 20,000 IU daily of vitamin D, depending on what you're, I recommend vitamin D for a lot of different treatments of different things. Vitamin D is fantastic. If you have sleep apnea, take vitamin D and magnesium before, like an hour before bed. It'll get rid of sleep apnea and snoring.
Nice. Great tip.
Yeah.
This was directed at you. It says, Miss Sharon says, KC Littleowl, I went from my biopsy today, still taking the, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong. Chlorella.
Corella.
Corella.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad to hear that, Miss Sharon. Okay. Yeah. Right. Keep me posted. Yeah. She emailed me. That's great. Yeah. Keep doing that.
I just saw something that made me laugh, and I'll go to it in a second. But okay. Angela asks anything that would you recommend for multiple sclerosis.
For MS, there is I cannot remember her name. There is a doctor that had MS and went, the allopathic route, ended up in a wheelchair and stuff. And then she went the naturopathic route. But it has to do a lot with, it has a lot to do with diet. It has to do with whole foods. And I've talked about different things causing disruptions in your nerve tracts. With MS, on their nerve tracts, they kind of get holes in there. Almost looks like Swiss cheese. They'll get those things that'll cause that, and you can't heal that. I'm not sure who said it, but email me. I have a protocol for that, and I cannot remember the doctor's name, but she healed her own MS naturally. I will send you her information. If you can please email me, I would love to get that information to you. Somebody asked about vitamin K, different K2. Yeah, there's K1, there's K2. You just have to look. And then sometimes some of them may have like a complex they're built together, but as far as osteoporosis, calcium type things, it needs to be K2.
Thank you. Jan, she says my cats kill all my aloe plants. You got to get some catnip, Jan. Catnip has a couple of uses other than entertains the kitties, but also you can make catnip tea, which is very beneficial to you as well.
Yeah.
And Linda Bob says, what keeps groundhogs out of the garden? I was going to say my dogs.
Yeah, get a dog. I don't know. You're the garden guy. I don't know. I have mine fenced off differently with a half hoop big thing I set over certain plants that are prone to get into it. But the groundhogs, I don't know. I would have problems with, moles and bugs, especially ants with mine. So if anyone knows about the groundhog, chime in.
Yeah, drop it in the chat. We're a community here. We love to share information.
Yeah.
JM, thank you so much for the super chat. You've always been an extreme helpful support of the channel. I appreciate that. And I also see your compadre Dragon in the chat as well. But she said, yes, husband has osteoporosis, K2 with powdered algae-based calcium and moringa is what the doctor recommended.
That's good stuff. Yeah, you have to, the K2 is a must for, especially women, us women, we have babies that pull so much calcium from our teeth and our bones, hormonal changes you go through, that deficiency, K2.
I appreciate that, Oki Khan. And, it's funny with live streams like this. I feel like live streams like this with someone of her caliber that has the information that she has, we should have like 10,000 viewers watching us right now. But hopefully by myself and other people and you guys sharing her channel out and stuff like that, she will get, the message out there more of what some folks could use to help them in medicinally with herbal remedies and medicinal plants, a lot more than I can ever do. I'm getting there, folks, one of these days, but I'm learning.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. I mean, like I tell people, I'm like, I don't ever feel bad. You're starting it good. I mean, you just did one thing great. I mean, food, I have it behind me all the time is, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And that's so true. I mean, there's a herb, food, plant, everything for every ailment. You just have to learn it. That's why I'm hesitant on certain things to give. I give an overview, but as far as giving individuals protocol, I have to get certain detailed information, privately in an email, and I write up protocols every day, all day long. I will get to you. I promise I will get to you.
That's pretty smart, though. I mean, it's great that you can kind of give an overview of something and then say, hey, if you want more information, just give me an email. And it's nice that you're able to do that.
Because same diagnosis, they never are quite the same protocols. They're just not. It's just not the way it works. You got to tailor to everyone individually. You just have to.
Yeah, because some people have different things. It's like whenever I talk about the medicinal plants, sometimes I'll do a medicinal Monday. I haven't done it in a while because I've been so busy with stuff. And I would say, look, make sure you talk to your doctors if you're on medication.
Oh, yeah. Read my disclaimers. Yeah.
It's funny. South Florida was talking about what we were talking about earlier because he's like, ask KC about all the great medicinal benefits of using the green stuff.
Yeah. You get in trouble for that. Yeah. Especially certain states. But truly there are so, I firsthand, I will say, maybe I'll get it, thing for it later on, or people don't agree, but it comes in all different forms. People just think one form. But there's you know, like a tincture. It's like an oil. It looks like black stripe molasses, almost what it looks like. And I have seen people cured from stage 4 cancers with that. Brain cancers, all kinds of stuff. Just the way it works. And I mean, even I was talking to Grey back before we came up here about CBD oil. It has fantastic properties. It's just hemp. It doesn't have the THC that people, that taboo that people put on it. Anything could be, I mean, poppy seeds are in things. People can use different, things and make something bad out of anything, or take it, anything, be smart. But there are a lot of good properties, different ways you do that, administer that.
Lander, I agree with you 100%, brother. Let me see here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions, because I do apologize, folks. Sometimes I can't see them because the chat will be moving around too much. And JT, yeah, I wish I could eat just donuts and Oreo cookies all the time, but it just doesn't work out so well for me. Let me see here. I thought I saw another question. I'm just trying to like cruise through here. Acres Quarter Acre, good to see you. Let me see here. I'm just missing. I can't bring myself to the point yet. Groundhog stew.
Yeah, there you go.
That is true. All right. I don't think I missed any questions. Hopefully I didn't miss any. I'm trying to go slowly back up, but it's hard to kind of scroll through here. All right. If you did have a question, I missed it, just go ahead and put it back in chat. If I miss anything, please let me know. We got another about 5-6 minutes left, folks. So if you do have questions, please drop them in there. The main thing is, to be honest with you, this is my way of showcasing another channel that has great information outside of my own. Me, I'm a little diverse. We'll bounce from gardening to politics to gear reviews and all kinds of weird stuff. But if you want something a little bit more hyper focused on medicinal plants and herbal remedies and stuff like that, KC is definitely the channel to go to.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem at all. It's just, it's when you start YouTube, it's a big challenge to try to get any movement, through the platform and try to get out there,
Right.
Unless you're doing something like, cat videos or something like that, then not so much.
I'm not that hip, I guess.
Oh, man.
Well, I always, I've had people say, oh, do these or do this or pay for that. And I will always stay authentic to it. I always said, when I started, I said, if I have 10 people that I'm helping, then I'll keep doing it. I have to stay authentic. I'm not going to, I never start. I'm great. I am so appreciative of my subs or doing things like this. And it's, it's authentic and, it's how it is. I won't ever try to sell my channel to just, it wasn't about numbers for me ever. And I'm grateful for that. And my big thing was when I reached, 500? And I could use my community tab. So I could drop things like, I was like, that is so great. I mean, but and I am appreciative. I'm shocked. I am humbled by how many people ended up, even though I'm such a tiny channel, but I'm humbled by that. And I'm so grateful for being able to reach and help people through this platform, and that's what it's about for me.
Yeah, someone who I consider a good friend who's probably watching us now. Basically said sometimes you just don't pay attention to the numbers. Just put out the information and just let it do what it's going to do. And God has a reason for all of us being here and doing what we do, and the messages that we're sharing here. So I think you'll find, and you're doing good for just being roughly about 6 months now, right?
Yeah. I dropped my intro video on New Year's because, like I said, I was asked, and I've been on a live just because of what I do, just on on some other channels, and I just that's just what I did. And then I started getting asked a lot of questions, and please make a channel. And I said, oh, I just thought I am not messing with YouTube, And I took about 2 weeks. I prayed about it, and I thought, okay, I'll see if it helps people. Then, because like we said, you got to put yourself out there a little bit in this day and age, the way things are. You're kind of, that fine line.
You have the same mindset as I do. And what I mean by that is, if I do a video and get 100 views, if I just help one person in that video, I feel that that's a job well done.
Yeah. Because I mean, we all have this, we can reach people we would never have access to reach people and help people. And that's what's important to me. And so many things across the board are getting silenced, closed down, especially anything naturopathic. I mean, there's tons of things. I'm just, this is just my area. They don't like that. And they're getting, whether you're up on the professional level or, doing something like this, they don't like that. And a lot of people become desperate. They just want help. I just want to feel better. I just need to, how do I do this on my own? What if I can't get something? And I think that's what's important. Because I mean, we're going to have to, your tribe, your community, your mag, you may not be right next to each other. Like there's so many people, y'all, I mean, like in this, YouTube community, that's like, that's my tribe still though. Cause we still help each other out. And with everything that's going on, we have to have that to all make it. We cannot as individuals do everything or know everything. I've learned so much from different people myself. So yeah, I just think it's needed.
That's you have such a great attitude. I love it, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
It's just, that's what it is. It's like, sure, I have the Grey community. You have your AP community. You have this community. And a lot of us will cross over and mesh with each other. And we're just all learning from everyone. You know what I mean? I learn from my viewers all the time.
Me too.
Yeah, it's not like I'm an Ike, as we call them. I know everything, because anybody who ever preaches that is probably something that I would want to stay away from. You know what I mean? They know everything.
I understand.
I saw another question pop up. I'm trying to back up here a second because Minuteman69 says, anything help with sleep paralysis?
Sleep paralysis. I have had sleep paralysis before. I can, and sometimes that has to do with a type of apnea. Again, I would have to ask like certain personal health things or things you've been on, or prior when you'll see a pattern if you journal that when certain times it happens. I can talk to you and give you information about that. It usually has to do with a deficiency, and it has to do with the way your sleep cycles go.
I appreciate that, Deacon, as well as Don. I truly appreciate that. And you guys are absolutely right. And I really wanted to, before we wrap this up, I do want to, I know you, because it's outside of your realm of, what you do on your channel. I know you've been seeing, we were going to bring this towards the end. Figured I'd do it now while we can. Is that you said you wanted to kind of share a little bit about what you see going on in your area. I know you had mentioned that when we were talking about that, if you wanted to share anything with my viewers.
Well, my gas went down 20 cents. Is everybody else seeing that too? They said it was going to, but of course it's so bad because when I see it, when it's gone down, I don't trust it. It's gone up and I'm like, I have heard it's going to go down. But it's still what it's gone down. It's way higher than it's ever been, but that has gone down. I am seeing, like, I wrote some notes here. And I reported on my channel also. Our stuff is pretty stocked. I mean, we'll see little things here and there that look low or empty, but nothing like how it went. But and then you're seeing an overabundance of stock in different areas. I think I hit on this on my channel before, but it is all those cargo things, all those things that were sitting somewhere for a year and a half in ports or God knows where everything is coming in. And people tell me all the time, no, it's overabundant. I know, but please, and I tell people, if you really look, a lot of that stuff coming in, the expiration date is this year or maybe next year because that stuff's been sitting somewhere for over a year. And everything is coming in at once. And that's why they're having these weird sales at big chains like Costco. You'll see because that stuff from, 2 Christmases ago or something like that. So we're, I'm seeing like that. I did see, I put it on my community thing earlier. Another food processing plant is closing by the end of summer in Tennessee. Did you hear about that?
That I did. I saw that one post up.
Yeah, I did. I saw that. And that's really like what I'm seeing is, the biggest thing is the inflation. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, one week to the next. I actually talked to somebody who was in Food Line, something rang up wrong, and they're short staffed about everywhere. At least I'm speaking from my area. This was at my local Food Line. And she said, we're short staffed and the prices are going up so fast. We cannot get the little price stickers throughout the store changed fast enough.
Wow.
And they're updated in the computers. So when they ring up, it's 15 cents, 20 cents, $1 more. She said they're on top of being short staffed, they cannot get the stickers changed and a lot of things fast enough. So it's just the inflation, I think, is through the roof.
I'm seeing a lot of the same things, to be honest with you, and it's ironic. I hate going to this place, and I happened to go there not too long ago. I forgot why we were there. I think everything was closed, and unfortunately, it was the closest thing to us, which is Wally World. A lot of
Yes.
people know what I mean by Wally World. I took a picture. Maybe I'll share it on Thursday night. But there's no registers in this Wally World anymore. I think there's one
Yeah.
register with the tobacco products. Everything else is you check yourself
Self-checkout.
out. I
Yeah.
was amazed by that. I was just like, so they've gotten rid of all the employees.
Well, I mean, they offer places and everybody wants to, like, oh, they're starting out, 15, 20, $25 an hour, but they're not hiring anybody. So, I mean, okay, that, I don't know how people aren't connecting these dots,
Mhm.
but there's tons of places. Even here, there's tons of places they'll say they're closing at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock when it's something that was open till 10 o'clock, midnight. They don't have any employees. And they're still not opening dining rooms, and it doesn't have to do with a virus. They don't have any employees.
Exactly, because the Walmart that I'm talking about since I was a young lad in this area, off and on, because my dad's always lived in this area, they were 24 hours. Now they close at 11 p.m.
Yep. Yep. I'm
11
seeing
p.m.
that.
And what I did notice, this was yesterday, folks, just for some of you folks out there, the formula situation hasn't been resolved. Walgreens that I went into yesterday had 2 cans of formula on the shelf. That's it. And then big pieces of paper saying, sorry, due to, shortages and all this other
Are you
stuff like
seeing the
that.
limits on that? I'm seeing
Yes.
there's 5.
Two.
Last night there's 5. And then the ones I'm seeing on the shelf is stuff like soy, like the
Soy-based.
replacement if they have like allergies or so. I'm seeing that out.
Yep.
And of course the limits on it.
A smart survival, 2 options I can send you. I can send you to KC's channel if you want to learn how to make tinctures. And also I can send you to my Discord if you have that, and to our herbal recipe section. They also teach folks in there how to do tinctures and stuff like that. So 2 spots that can help you out. I suggest checking both of them out,
Yeah, I mean, anywhere you can learn stuff. I'm about people learning the stuff. Write it down. I always tell people take notes, print things. Please have hard copies because you may not be able to get, in reference to go look something up. I tell people take notes and print them out or whatever you got to do.
And acres, quarter acre, you're absolutely right. Food is medicine, and medicine is food, which made me think of something when I read that is, I don't know how many folks have ever heard of gut flora. It's to me, your gut has a lot to do with your health in general. It's like that core, that central
It
spot.
does.
And I use a lot of fermented foods to help with that and the probiotics. And there's some
Yeah.
very important probiotics you can get there. I think they're called ICUs or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you do research on something for yourself, is the gut brain connection. All disease starts in our gut. It does. You have to keep that balance. And I mean, people don't think like simple things. If you've ever been on an antibiotic, or if you've ever had surgery, or you've ever had, I don't know, some type of prescription medicine that you think, oh, it didn't make me a GI sick, it throws that balance off. And a lot of small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, it causes, that's usually the root cause, is everything will start in your gut. And no matter what anybody has, I always tell them to heal their gut first. That should be your target thing, is to heal your gut, and your immune system will follow. And it zaps your immune system if your gut's messed up. Kefir, fermented foods, probiotics, however you got to do it.
Yeah, I love the kimchis, the sauerkrauts, and all that fun stuff like that.
Yeah, all of that. Apple cider vinegar is great for that because it will kill off the bad stuff. And I do it. One of my very first videos was about keeping your pH balance, because you want to keep yourself alkaline and keep that balance, because disease, cancer, bacteria, fungal parasites cannot live in an alkaline environment. And most people are so acidic. They're just, they're just thriving inside people's bodies because they're so acidic.
I'm going to bring up one other question, just because I thought we had mentioned the whole formula situation, and then we'll do our wrap up. But Jan had asked, what are some good herbs to promote breast milk production? I thought that was a pretty interesting question.
Yeah, there's different things about red raspberry leaf, and you can't take that like when you're early on in a pregnancy. And oats, if you can eat oatmeal, like real oatmeal, not the thing, that is really good for breast milk production also.
That's definitely helpful. Let me see here. If I put AC in your water and late in the day, it ends up tasting like apple juice. Some of these, I think. Remember to boil it after it ferments and drip cool it through copper tubing. I gotcha. I had to pick up on that one.
Are you drinking your Oh, I see now. At first, I was like, I thought you were doing the distilled water, but you can make.
I had to get I had to catch on to that. Minuteman is a funny person, and he's been around for a long time. But Rudy threw a question out there for you. He says, "How do you know if you're acidic?"
Okay. You can get little P. I should have brought them in here, and I do have a video about a whole thing about your pH and how to test it. There are the little pH strips, like little yellow type tapes. They can come in, and you do your urine and you do your saliva 2 hours away from eating or drink anything besides water, and you're going to want to be that neutral, area. You'll see, and you'll keep a journal of it and test yourself every day on your urine and your saliva pH. And there is a formula. I will write out in a protocol for that because it's a longer way. How you want your saliva and your urine to be slightly off, or it's indicating that like you have a damp, sluggish liver. You're having, like I say, your liver's on fire. You're not processing things correctly. It makes you acidic. But little pH strips, they come in a little tape. I mean, they last forever, and it has a chart thing on top of it, and it'll have like a different coloration if it's like yellow to greens to all the way, but like almost looks black. I keep those in case something feels a little off with myself or a family member or a friend or somebody in my community. You test their pH, and you check their bricks, which is kind of a cellular sugar thing.
Snake bite. You guys are awesome, folks. KC, any final words that you would like to share with folks?
Thank you. I appreciate it. And yes, please email me. So I don't give broad answers. I will kind of taper to individually. If you need help, you can always email me. And I thank you so much. I am humbled and honored to be a guest here tonight.
And I appreciate you taking the time. I know where a lot of us folks are busy. We're making videos or working our jobs, our family, our life, all the things that we do. So I want to thank you as well for taking the time to hang out with us in the Grey community. And I hope a lot of folks that are watching us tonight will go and check out your channel and see that you have a lot to offer the community,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And also, I want to thank everyone out there for joining us this evening. I want to say I truly appreciate every single one of you folks out there, mods as well. You guys know you guys are awesome. You guys are the grease that makes everything run smoothly. And as always, folks, I want to say, be safe out there. And no, you are not alone. Other than that, this is great. And KC, we'll see you on the rebound. All right. God bless.